This is American Ash, and today we're going to find out what happens when we finish this dining table with Osmo Poly X Oil. Ash has a lot going on visually, so in this video I'll take you through the final preparation, applying the Osmo oil, and we'll see exactly how this table comes together. Before applying any finish, the most important thing is to get rid of the dust, and I mean all of it. I'm starting by thoroughly vacuuming the entire table, paying particular attention to the open grain of the ash. Then I'll remove any remaining dust from the surface. The finish is only going to be as good as the surface underneath it, so this is definitely not a stage to rush. At this point, the surface should feel completely smooth, clean, and ready for finish. Before applying the finish, I'm going to give the product a thorough stir. With a product like this, you want everything evenly mixed before you start. I'm also going to make sure I have everything ready before opening the tin. The applicator, clean cloths, and enough space to work across and around my table. I'm applying a thin, even coat across the surface. The key here is not to flood the wood with the product. I'm working with the grain and a figure of 8 and trying to keep the application as consistent as possible from one end of the table to the other. You can immediately see the colour of the ash changing as the oil brings the grain to life. This is always one of my favourite parts of finishing a piece of furniture. You spend hours preparing the wood and then suddenly the grain starts to appear. I'm also paying close attention to the edges and making sure the finish is spread evenly across the entire piece. The goal is a consistent finish, no heavy areas, no missed sections, and no excess product left sitting on the surface. Once the first coat is applied, the table needs time for the finish to dry properly. This is the part of the process that can be difficult when you're eager to see the finished result. But rushing the finish is never worth it, so I'm going to leave it to dry and come back to it once it's ready for the next stage. At this stage, the colour and depth of the ash are really starting to develop. The grain is becoming much more pronounced and the surface is starting to develop that depth that you just don't get from raw timber. The wood still has a natural appearance, but there's now much more depth and contrast in the grain. The biggest thing for me is the finish doesn't completely overpower the character of the timber, and the ash is still the star of the show. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe for more furniture making and woodworking projects. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.